All right, Shalom. First thing and foremost, I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors being to the elders, the apostles of Great Millstone. Blessings and salutations into the hopeful elect. Noise in this gospel, broad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. It's the Aki of Mahaloya coming back with another quick lesson. Lord's will to be edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. This is an article that was sent to me, and that's the spirit because we were going into how this microchip and this new lockdown and the digital currency is all going to tie into this new digital type currency or this digital based system, which is going to be based on 5G biometrics, the chip. All these things are going to complement one another to go hand in hand with the IoT, which is abbreviated the Internet of Things. All right, so it says digital health passports trials underway to aid reopening of borders. Okay, so like we was always saying, and like brothers brought out recently, that they're going to create scenarios to bring about stripping away civil freedoms of the people, to bring in mass draconian laws of totalitarianism. You know, future movies like Judge Dredd, Demolition Man, Minority Report, all these particular movies foretold this event one way or another. All right, where they gave you the type of insight of a type of utopia slash really it's a dystopia, which dystopia goes into like draconian rule. Utopia means freedom and peace, which the kingdom of heaven is going to be a utopian age. But what Esau is doing is creating a dystopia, which is basically a harsh type future. Okay, something that's draconian, something that's strict rule, like what you're seeing now. Mass, that's draconian. Okay, that's stripping away civil freedoms. You know, that's totalitarian. And that's what E is trying to do on the left hand side, this new world order. All right. So it says a new digital health passport is to be piloted by a small number of passengers flying from the UK to the US for the first time next week under the plans for global framework for COVID safe air travel. All right. So now, in order to get on a plane, remember they was talking about what they called the real ID, which was supposed to be mandated by October 1st of this year, but it was pushed into what, a whole year later, 2021. Now they got this this COVID safe air travel, this digital health passport thing that they're going to require people to use in order to get from point A to point B. All right, which shows you that this is part of their plan. This is part of the diabolical plan that this devil is trying to conjure up. You know, as if wearing a mask wasn't enough. But anyway, it says here the Common Pass system, backed by the World Economic Forum, which is abbreviated WEF, is designed to create a common international standard for passengers to demonstrate they do not have coronavirus. However, critics of similar scheme points to concerns over sensitivity and specificity or a specific city of the test in various countries amid fears over greater monitoring over people's movements, basically to track you. Paul Meyer, the CEO at the Cummins Projects, which was given a startup funding by the Rockefeller Foundation. All right, keep that in mind. We know who the Rockefellers are. They're basically the American counterpart of the Rothschilds, aka the Illuminati, the globalists, the elites, the global cabal, whatever you want to call them. The wicked, the secret council of the wicked, whatever you deem them, that's what they are. It says Rockefeller Foundation, which that demon David Rockefeller even told you that people have accused my family and us of being a national cabal and standing guilty in the best interest of the United States. He says, if that is the charge, I stand guilty. So he basically told you that he's with the damnation of humanity. Same with this guy, Bill Gates, you know, and this other guy, Dr. Fauci. It says 2 years ago created the Digital Health Pass, said countries that have closed borders and imposed quarantines are looking for ways to thoughtfully reopen their borders. Like I said, this is all a way to strip away your freedoms, okay? Because if you read, I got another article basically exposing Bill and Melinda about how this COVID stuff is not even the case, you know, but they're using it, talking about to open up the country and do all these various deities of madness. Basically, they know that it ain't gonna be no cure from it because the shit don't exist. It's crazy how these devils operate, but this is the nature of Esau. All right. It says here, it's hard to do that, he told The Guardian. It requires being able to access the health of incoming travelers. Hopefully, we'll soon start to see some vaccines come on the market. But there's not going to be just one vaccine. It says some countries are going to probably say, okay, I want to see documentation. You've got one of those vaccines, but not one of those vaccines. All right, so basically a big bowl of confusion. But pointing to the existing requirements in a number of countries, notably paper-based evidence of yellow fever vaccination, Myers said similar proof held digitally for coronavirus could soon be required to travel for the foreseeable future. And this is all going to tie hand in hand with the mark of the beast, man. All right, and you got these guys from these different camps talking about, oh, Jacob's trouble is it's BS, you know, it's this and that, it ain't the chip, all this other craziness. You got to stay away from men like that, man, you know, because these guys are trying to live out the longevity of their captivity. You know, they're not trying to get out of here. They're not trying to get on the chairs and get to the kingdom. They won't hear. You know, like them niggas from UPK, man. Them niggas like back alley sermons, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, one Jake come up to the camp last week talking about, well, we don't go to the hood. Well, look, man, go to ISUPK, man. Them niggas prophesying in crack houses and everything, man. All right? You know what I'm saying? They go to the fucking back alley prophets. They'll teach you what you need to know. Piss on the Bible, basically, you know? Anyway, it says, however, critics of similar scheme points to concerns over sensitivity. I read that already. I think I read that. Yeah, I read that, Salakia. But anyway, it says, he added, this is about risk mitigation. There's no perfectly safe solution, but this is about providing information that can help countries reduce the risk of it spreading. How the hell is something spreading that don't exist? But it says, but the trial will apply for passengers, will apply for passengers flying from Heathrow to Newark, U.S. on a United Airlines flight on Wednesday. But tests from the private testing companies, Prenetics, will be administered by the Travel and Medical Services from Collison and the COVID-19 testing facilities set up with Swissport. But it follows a pilot of Cathay Pacific on flights between Hong Kong and Singapore. But however, the test used generally in the UK is not a test of infection, as experts have said, as it does not distinguish between those who have the virus and are infectious and those who are no longer infectious. But there have been many false results as a consequence, right? False positives. Fake tests being brought in saying, well, hey, this person have it and they don't. Mainly people of color. All right, those are the ones that they're targeting to push this whole agenda. But it says, but there is a suspicion that some schemes could provide a way into greater monitoring of people's movements and health statuses, a paper published in The Lancet on Friday. However, it added they can facilitate safer movement and privacy concerns are neither unique nor insurmountable. Wow. But Common Pass confirms a traveler's compliance with U.S. border requirements after a test at the London airport up to 72 hours before travel, along with the completion of a health screening questionnaire. Which a lot of airports, they basically say if you got a cough or fever, then consult a doctor immediately and stuff like that. Like if you go to an amusement park, they ask you got to do like a health screening. They ask you a series of questions to see if you've been around anybody or do you feel ill. That's a health screening. But in this case, it's going to be more stringent. It's going to be more detailed. It's going to be more in your business type thing. But the QR code that can be scanned by the airline staff and border officials is then produced in the event of a negative test. But the process of securing a refund for the flight after testing positive was unclear. But Common Pass will be paid by airlines for the service. But most arrivals to the UK, But most arrivals to the UK currently have to quarantine for a fortnight, with only around 45 countries on the country's quarantine-free travel corridors list. But Mark Burgess, process improvement director at Heathrow, told the Times for some time now, Heathrow has been calling for the creation of a common international standard and cross-border pilots, as these can help governments across the world and the industry to unlock the benefits of testing in aviation. All right, so basically, in order to travel, you're going to have to get tested. That's basically what they're saying. Roundabout way. And it's going to be like that on local travel, international travel, domestically, which domestically is just really around the country. But it's to the point they're going to be setting up checkpoints on these highways, man. When they bring in the military, like we was reading in an article about the Canadian ambassador that exposed everything that they're trying to do within a year's time. All right. So anyway, 2nd Esdras 15:1, it says, behold, Speak down in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in their mouth, says the Lord. We're speaking these things into existence because the scriptures say that. The scriptures foretell these particular events that was going to be a nuisance and some type of tyranny in the latter days. But like I said, you got men out there that's teaching against it. You got men out there that just comfortable with calling a white man the devil 24/7, but they're not getting into the more extravagant of the prophecy. You know, they're not going into detail. They're not going into these articles. They're not going into the mark of the beast. They're not going into geopolitics and breaking down the systematic kingdoms. Like right now, we're in the time of the fourth beast, all right, which is the revitalization of the Roman Empire. They're not going into those particular things. Why? Because the Spirit of the Lord is not resting upon these men. All right, they serve their purpose to waking up certain Israelites, and the ones they did wake up that may be of the hopeful elect will eventually convert into the true gospel. All right, because the Lord can use you and be done away with. And that's the case. It seems like that's going to be the case for a lot of you leaders out there. But it says, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Okay, and this is a step closer to the mark of the beast system. Because like I was saying, they're trying to do everything digital, biometrics, all right, wirelessly. I must be tired. I'm slowing my words. But anyway, you know, like computer algorithms. Prime example, they got what they call the iPhone 12. The new iPhone 12, every year is required for you to get a new phone. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with digital methods, fingerprints, biometrics, you know, eye scans, facial retinas, things like that. Google Pay, Smart Pay. And if you see the way that this is going, it's very blatantly obvious that this is the mark of the beast system being set up right before the face. All right, and it's common sense. Like the brothers were saying, either you sold out or you just completely incompetent. And I'm starting to believe that some of you guys are just retarded, man. All right, some of you guys ain't got two brain cells to rub together to get a thought process going properly, because I guess you was dropped on your fucking heads as a baby. But whatever. We gonna continue to prophesy according to the scriptures, man. Whether you clowns like it or not. All right, because at the end of the day, the Most High just getting ready to just clean house with a lot of you rebellious Negroes out there. All right, but it says here, a Department of Transport spokesman said the government is working at a pace with industry to identify and implement options to reduce the self-isolation period through testing while protecting public health. But they're talking about a third lockdown. All right, so obviously these testings, they're just getting the numbers up, and we know the numbers are fabricated. We know it. Because my thing is, how the hell can you test 10,000 people a day? Tens of thousands of people are affected today. Another 20,000 tomorrow. Get the hell out of here, man. You go to these hospitals, it's pretty much empty. Ain't nobody going to these hospitals. So it's a bunch of BS. But like we said, it's part of an agenda, you know. But it says here, we are consulting closely with partners from the aviation, travel, healthcare, and testing sectors, as well as the developed administrations, to develop measures as quickly as possible to support the recovery of the travel sector. Which that's BS, because a lot of these airlines are selling off. All right, they're being bought out by different companies. You know, like Spirit Airlines, they're still Spirit. You got United Airlines, you got you got Southwest, but a lot of these particular ones are getting ready to be brought out, man. You know. So anyway, this is the book of 2 Esdras 15, and I'm gonna start at 17. It says, a man should desire to go into a city and should not be able. Right, martial law. Right now, what you're witnessing is medical martial law. When you go to clinics, they got to pretty much scan your forehead. That's medical martial law, man. Because I was just, matter of fact, it was so crazy. I was at a gas station and had to go use the washroom. And in front of the damn door, it says state mandated law. Well, not law, but state mandate, which goes into mandatory. All right, or basically you got to consent to the BS. It says you have to wear a mask. But see, that's where they get you. It's not federally mandated, it's state mandated, because what the federal government can't get off, they trickle down to the state remedy or the state level to get these particular code of laws to be passed through Congress, so to speak, because it's a quick and effective way, and most of the time is no remedy in a state court once your laws or rights are stripped away, like child support. There's no remedy for that in the state, so therefore you got to take it to a higher jurisdiction. Same thing with the COVID mask. Like technically they can't make you wear a mask. Like they say, well, if you don't wear the mask, you're going to call the local authority. So, okay, call them. And then you say, I'm not wearing a mask. This is a violation of this and it's not federally mandated. But under state provisions, they can say, well, the state said you have to do it. So, but who writes the Constitution? The state or the federal government, you know? which, states, they have pretty much their own constitutions too. But when it's really mandated on the state, it's not really law. It's just under the code of law. Like I said, like child support, that's not law. It's just code of law. But since it's on a state level, the state is no remedy for it. So you have to take it a step further. That's why the federal government allowed the state to pass a lot of these bogus ass laws, because they know that people can't do nothing about it. And most people don't know that you got to take it to a higher court to get out of the fire of the state. But the state is going to be responsible for a lot of people being put back in captivity, because you can see the way it's doing. It's a state law, because states are broken up into different jurisdictions, different provinces. Like the state of Illinois versus the state of Missouri, they may have similar laws, but it's different. They may mandate something else over there, But it says here, a man should desire to go into a city and should not be able to. For because of their pride, the city should be troubled and their houses destroyed, right? This eventually, people are going to start taking matters into their own hand, because they don't want to deal with the fact that this tyranny is overcoming them with, But nonetheless, this is just part of the New World Order. This is part of ease. It's a like they say, it's a method to the madness, And the method to this is basically the New World Order. But it's not going to happen. According to the book of Job 5:12, it says here, he disappointed the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. Okay, the enterprise is the New World Order. Novo Secleptus Socorro. I think it's, matter of fact, I ain't going to butcher. Let me look it up, man. I ain't going to do that. We ain't going to be lazy. We're going to look it up. Yep. Novus Ordo Seclorum. All right. It says the phase Novus Ordo Seclorum and the second of the two mottos appear in the reverse of the Great Seal of the United States. All right. Basically, the New World Order, or the One World Government. Okay. It says here, Novo Ordo Seclorum, Latin for New Order of the Ages, a New World Order. All right. That's Latin. See? And this is on back of your dollar bill. So this is all it is. This is that enterprise that he is trying to establish on the left-hand side, which the Lord is only going to let him get so much of it off the ground. But nonetheless, you're seeing the stages being set for it. All right? And this movie is getting ready to get good. But it says, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the fortis carry headlong, because this is a crafty way of getting people to sign over their rights. Saying, creating certain scenarios, medical martial law, in order to take away people's civil freedoms. Well, in order for you to travel, because we have this pandemic, you have to consent to getting the COVID test to get on a plane, And they may have to stick a stick up your Q-tip up your nose, which a lot of times those tests, they were giving people the virus so they can be justified on the numbers, So, hey, we tell you, man, scriptures say never trust thy enemy. You got our people that say, well, you can't say that. They trying to help. How are they trying to help you when they basically trying to kill you off and they're giving you poison? But you can't tell our people anything, because according to them, this man could do nothing wrong. Okay? So this is the book of Job 20, and I'm going to start at verses, let's start at 17. It says, he should not see the rivers, the floods, and the brooks of honey and butter. Okay? Going into this New World Order. It says, that which he labored for shall he restore. All the riches and stuff you stole from our people, you're going to have to vomit it back up. We getting the gold, the silver, the garments, the jewels, the rubies, we getting all that back. All right, and the only thing you're going to get is slavery and a foot sideways up your ass. A foot sideways up your ass, man. And it says here, he should not swallow it down. According to his substance shall the restitution be. Woo-wee. So if you pay a restitution price, that's a fee. Like they say, what's your restitution on getting this service restored? And they say $100,000. Hey, how much you stole, that's how much you got to pay back. All right, so you giving all that back in some. It says, and he should not rejoice therein. Because you're going to be in pitiful case, wearing some freaking mask, man. Who the hell want to wear a mask all freaking day? People have no, and it's so crazy. There's no connection. What he's doing, he's taking away people's connection. Because you can't even hear people speak. They can't even formulate sentences properly. They talking, nigga, open your mouth, take off the mask and talk to me, man. I ready to hit, man, look, I ready to go in on them guys that be wearing the mask, especially when you go to the store. There's no connection there, man. I want to connect who I'm speaking with. Got this stupid mask on, and a lot of times when I go to the store and I got that mask, I pull it down so they can hear what I'm saying. It's called common courtesy and common freaking sense, But it says here, because he oppressed and have forsaken the poor. This is an oppressive system. It says, because he have violently taken away the house which he builded not. Surely he should not feel quiet as in his belly, and he should not save that which he desired, and there should none of his meat be left. Therefore should no man look for his goods, and in the fullness of his sufficiency he should be in straits, and every hand of the wicked should be upon him. And when he is about to fill his belly, the Most High should cast out the fear of his wrath upon him, and should rain it upon him while he was eating. Alright? So, hey, in the midst of your new world order, man, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai is going to destroy your ass, man. Alright? You can forget about it. You can forget about chipping up the hopeful elect. The 2/3, you can do what you want to do with them. The hopeful elect, you can forget about it. We ain't getting the chip. We ain't getting the vax. Alright? None of that. We ain't selling out to your new world order. You can forget about it. You know, you can stick a fork in it, bro. You're done. So keep on at it. And it says, and he shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bullet still should strike him through. That's the missiles, because they're going to retreat to those bunkers. It is drawn and coming out of the body, which is the silos, all right? Yea, the glittering sword, which is the missile, coming out of the gall, and terrors are upon him, right? Because these missiles are going to be shot over to the western hemisphere. And it says, and all darkness should be hid in his secret places, and a fire not blown should consume him, and it should go ill with him that was left in his tabernacle, which your tabernacle represents your new world order, or your society that you set up, man. All right, this Babylonian society that all the nations incorporated the deceit and the witchcraft from. That's your tabernacle. And it says, and the heaven should reveal his iniquity, and the internet is revealing your iniquity. All right, and the Israelites, we represents the heaven, the kingdom of heaven. We're revealing. The scriptures say you should be consumed with the spirit of the Lord's mouth, which are the prophets. And it says, and the earth should rise up against them. Right, the archaeology. You know, you got different archaeological facts coming out. Like they had a Bible, I think, that was written like in the 1500s that showed black images of the prophets. That's the earth rising up against you. These excavation digs. You know, you send your scholars to find different things about the Israelites, and you're finding out that they're the people you got in slavery currently. And it says, and the increase of his house shall depart, and his goods shall flow away in the day of his wrath. But this is the portion of a wicked man from the Most High, and a heritage appointed unto him by the Most High, which is destruction, man. All right, so you can forget about your new world order. It's not going to happen, all the way at least. But anyway, with that, all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. And with that, Shalom and Abba Ball.